how cheap the tickets were. Resellers taking and betting. This is the market speaking. People used to wait in line for blocks to see Caitlin Clark before they tried changing her to the style that the fans rejected for decades. Now, what is they reacting to? Now, as of May 15th, get in price is looking at $8.19. Now, this was 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I tell you that this came out. Now,
The situation surrounding Stephanie White appears to be directly affecting ticket sales for the Indiana Fever, with resale prices on the verge of dropping below $8, possibly hitting $7 within days. The market movement has not gone unnoticed, as supporters of Caitlin Clark have taken to online platforms in growing numbers, circulating petitions, and voicing frustration over the direction of the team under its current coaching setup. The argument being made is straightforward. Before the coaching staff pushed Clark toward a more restrained style of play, crowds were willing to stand outside for extended periods just to get a seat. Now, resellers who purchased tickets expecting profit are offloading them at a loss because demand has dried up.
that this came out. Now, I want to see if this one here is updated. Nope, this is the same one. So 2 days ago, it's $8.19. Somebody said, I consider this the Stephanie White impact. Look how cheap the tickets were. Resellers taking a beating. This is the market speaking. People used to wait in line for blocks to see the Caitlin Clark before they tried changing her style. Somebody said great for the local crowd. Yes, but it also speaks to a major issue. They're slashing prices. It's not like they're
The broader fan base seems split but leaning critical. Some acknowledge that the low prices benefit local attendees. Others, however, point out that the drop is not a goodwill gesture from the organization. It reflects an inability to move inventory. At least one season ticket holder has decided to cancel their subscription entirely, opting to follow games from home rather than drive hours to watch a product they no longer find worth the trip.
yes, but it also speaks to a major issue. They're slashing prices. It's not like they're being generous and lowering prices to help. They are slashing prices because tickets are not moving. Stephanie White has an issue. I like Mitchell, but White is worried about making Mitchell the focus of the team. I'm giving up my season tickets because Stephanie White, instead of driving 2 hours to a game, I'll just watch the team on TV. And if things change, I'll buy a game and go.
Meanwhile, a particularly vocal supporter named Evelyn Dr. has put forward a specific set of expectations directed at the team. Her position, shared widely across social media, calls for a version of Caitlin Clark that operates without restriction, launching logo threes without pause, attempting bold shots that shift the energy of the arena, pressuring defenders before reaching half court, and playing with the visible enthusiasm that made her a phenomenon in the first place. The message is pointed. The fanbase wants Clark playing with freedom, not a player visibly second-guessing every move, out of concern for coaching approval. Other observers have noted that Clark appears to be struggling mentally on the court, pointing to stretches in recent games where consecutive, missed attempts seem to pull her out of the game mentally, rather than pushing her to keep attacking.
And if things change, I'll buy a game and go. I will continue to watch games, hoping things get better. It says resale. Someone bought them to raise the price to make money off them, but didn't sell, lowered the price to dump them. So there is some fans that is taking up for this whole thing. But at the end of the day, these ticket prices are very, very bad. Now, moving on to another story. This fan right here, Evelyn.
Some have also flagged a broader leadership vacuum on the roster, suggesting the team lacks a floor, general capable of organizing the group, and that individual players are each gravitating toward their own priorities rather than a unified system. What started as localized online chatter is widely expected to spill into mainstream sports coverage. The comparison being drawn is to the Christie side's situation from a prior season, which itself generated notable attention. But the sense among those tracking this closely is that the current tension is larger in scale and more organized. Fans have gone as far as creating symbolic resistance badges and name tags, turning their discontent into something of a movement.
Fan right here, Evelyn DR, has been on a rampage. I mean, she listed a list of demands. These demands should definitely be met. She went on to say tonight, we don't want to see safe Clark. We don't want to see stay in the system Clark. We don't want to see park in the corner off ball Clark. Damn, let it be known out the gate. Now, there has been a resistant campaign set in place for fans, and fans even coming up with name tags and badges.
On a more positive note, the Indiana Fever recently crossed 1 million followers on Instagram, becoming the first WNBA franchise to reach that mark. The milestone is a reflection of the massive audience Clark has brought to the sport, which makes the ticket pricing situation all the more striking. The digital following has never been bigger, yet the physical seats remain difficult to fill. The Las Vegas Aces defeated the Atlanta Dream, and Angel Reese's much-anticipated home debut with her new squad turned out to be a rough night on the hardwood. She came agonizingly close to a
triple-double, just not the kind anybody wants to talk about.
Resistant campaign set in place for fans, and fans even coming up with name tags and badges for their resistance. And I just think it's the coolest thing ever, man. I think a lot of these fans is taking matters into their own hands. And instead of them, being mad about this or just being silent about it, they're obviously affecting ticket prices, obviously being very, very vocal online. And I definitely feel as if this could be a catapult to a larger situation, because eventually what's going to happen is,
The moment worth noting came during the final stretch. With the Aces holding an 81-70 lead, Reese was pulled from the floor. What followed was remarkable. Atlanta nearly erased the entire deficit.
Without her, the comeback was real, the crowd was alive, and Reese sat and watched from the sideline.
What happen is mainstream media is going to have to talk about this. I really feel like if this continues, which I think it will, mainstream media is going to be talking about this Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark fan beef, because it definitely is a fan beef there that's way bigger. This is way bigger than the Christie Size thing. Now, we know the Christie Size thing had picked up traction, and the Christie Size.
She was only reinserted right at the death, by which point the damage was done. Final score, 85-84. Las Vegas was powered by 3 dominant performances. Kennedy Carter put up 20 points on 7 of 13,
shooting with 3 assists.
This thing had picked up traction, and the Christie Size situation was definitely, making headlines. But this right here, this is going to make national headlines. Let's finish reading what Evelyn DR stated. She stated, we want to see logo threes with zero hesitation. Heat checks that makes the arena gasp. Defenders panicking before half-court shots. Tongue sticking out, hyping up the crowd. Clark, give us vintage Clark. At Indiana Fever, at Caitlin Clark, hashtag let her cook.
Chelsea Gray added 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Aja Wilson chipped in 20 and 6. All 3 shot 50% or better from the field. Nalissa Smith, a quieter contributor, went 6 of 7 for 13
points off the bench.
Down. She got benched. All right, Aces are up 81-70. They take her out, and you're going to watch. This is about to, there she is, setting her ass on the bench. Okay, so she's on the bench, and now flip 81-77. The Atlanta Dream has nearly come back.
For Atlanta, Alyssa Gray was the standout, dropping 25 points on 8 of 18, shooting to go with 9 rebounds, and notably drew a louder reception from the home crowd than Reese did during introductions. Reese's own stat line told a complicated story. 9 points on 1 of 8 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 8 rebounds, and 8 turnovers. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 8 turnovers.
The Atlanta Dream has nearly come back. And Angel Reese is riding the bench during this entire period. They brought her back in at the very, very, very end of the game. 85-84. Guys, Kennedy Carter and Chelsea Gray, A'ja Wilson, they torched the Dream. Kennedy Carter, 20 points, 7 of 13. 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Chelsea Gray, 21, 5 and 6.
The turnovers nearly matched the rebounds. One particularly rough sequence saw her miss a layup so badly that her shoe flew off and landed on the court mid-play. A'ja Wilson made life difficult for
Reese throughout the contest, contesting nearly every move and coming away with the better of most exchanges.
3 assists. Chelsea Gray, 21, 5 and 6. A'ja, 20 and 6. I mean, good Lord. They were all 50% or better from the field. By the way, NaLyssa Smith, a NaLyssa Smith sighting, 6 of 7. 13 points. Let's get over here to the Dream. I mean, does it really matter? Does it really matter? Alicia Gray, 25 points, 8 of 18, 9 rebounds. Angel Reese, 9 points.
It's also worth noting that Atlanta was shorthanded. Brianna Jones and Rhyne Howard both sat out. With a full roster, the result may have looked different. What the game did clarify is where Reese fits
within this Atlanta system.
Rebounds. Angel Reese, 9 points, 1 of 8. 1 of 8. 7 of 8 from free throw range. 8 rebounds, 8 turnovers. That's what I mean by nearly a triple-double. She almost got a triple-double by way of points, rebounds, and turnovers. Not exactly the kind of triple-double you expect.
With the personnel surrounding her, she appears to be operating as the 4th or 5th option on the offensive end. The trade from Chicago has not elevated her role. If anything, it has narrowed
it. She functions as a complementary piece, not a focal point, and this debut offered a fairly clear-cut demonstration of that reality.
Not exactly the kind of triple-double you expect. Oh, here we go. ESPN promoting Angel Reese before the game. Barbie Dream House. First game in the Dream House for Angel Reese. By the way, Alyssa Gray, she got a bigger pop from the crowd than Angel Reese did. Angel Reese nearing a triple-double today. 9, 8, and 8. Yeah. Angel Reese nearing a triple-double today. 9, 8, and 8. Yeah. Yikes. Yikes. The Angel Reese experience, 6 turnovers in 1 half. Not great, folks. Not great. Angel Reese missed this layup so bad, her shoe fell off. Watch this, folks. This is, that's some basketball. Oh, there's the shoe laying on the court. Let me put this back on. Can I suggest some Skechers slip-ins? Angel, can we get some Skechers slip-ins? Possibly. Wow. Asia Wilson giving Angel Reese all kinds of hell. All kinds. Right here. Look at this. Out of there. Yeah, sorry. It's just not happening. Asia was not having it. Asia was not having it in this game. Ooh. Guys, 1 of 8 in her Atlanta Dream home debut in that dungeon that they play in. By the way, if you guys have not been paying attention to the Dream, now Brianna Jones did not play. Ryan Howard did not.